Dear students, in this video we are going to see what are the properties of discrete time Fourier transforms. Properties of discrete time Fourier transform. The properties of discrete time Fourier transform, we have some different properties. Are the first property is periodicity. Periodicity is nothing but whether the signal is a periodic signal. If the periodicity property is nothing but x of x Fourier transform, this is x of e power j into omega plus 2 pi. Omega plus 2 pi is equal to x of e power j omega. Here if it is the periodicity means if we add with plus 2 pi, omega plus 2 pi, we should get that the same the x of j omega. So here the if any Fourier transform that signal, if it is satisfying this property, then the system having the periodicity property. Next one is nothing but a linearity. Linearity is nothing but we can consider a into x of n is one x of n is the one signal and y of n is the second signal. The scaling summation of these two signals, that Fourier transform is summation of their Fourier transform. That is nothing but a into x of n plus b into x of n. Sum of these two signals Fourier transform, if you find out, means sum of their individual Fourier transform. The first signal Fourier transform is a, this a is the scaling constant, into x of n Fourier transform is x of e power j omega plus b into y of n discrete time Fourier transform is y of e power j omega. If you add this one, that should, this is the Fourier transform of this summation of these two signals. If any system is satisfying, that you can say it is a linearity property. Next one is nothing but a time shifting property. So here in the time shifting, x of time is shifting. So here x of n. So discrete time signal n, the n is time is shifted to n naught sample, shifted to n naught. So x of n minus n naught is equal to, here n naught is sampling means this x of n Fourier transform is x of e power j omega. Here minus n naught is nothing but e power that will be multiplied with the Fourier transform of the original signal, that is e power j omega. This is e power minus j omega into n naught, e power minus j omega into n naught. So this is, for example, instead of x plus n naught, instead of minus n naught, if we say x of n plus n naught means e power minus j, instead of minus we'll get it as a here plus e power j omega into n naught x of e power j omega. This is nothing but a time shifting. Similarly, if you do the frequency shifting is nothing but the same thing. In the right hand side, the frequency component. The frequency component is nothing but x of e power j omega minus omega naught. X of e power j omega minus omega naught. So omega is shifted to omega naught. So what will come? That original signal is nothing but x of n. Original signal is x of n. So here that Fourier here what we are shifting, minus omega naught. So that e power, that coefficient will come in product of that one, product of the original signal x of n. So e power minus j, e power minus j, e power what, minus omega naught, e power minus j omega naught n, omega naught n. So last frequency shifting property, x of, instead here we saw x of e power j omega minus omega naught. Instead of plus omega naught is there means e power, instead of minus j omega naught n, it will come as a e power plus j omega naught n into x of n. Fourier transform is x of e power j into omega plus omega naught. I hope it's clear. Now we will see then this example. So y of n is equal to the periodicity example I considered. Y of n is equal to e power j pi n into x of n is equal to, we can write it as a j pi n is nothing but a minus 1 whole power n into x of n. So here this discrete time Fourier transform is e power j omega. This is the function. So note this role the periodicity plays in the result. So here the periodicity, if you apply that x of j into omega plus pi also will get the same thing. So it is satisfying the periodicity property. Now the properties of the next remaining properties of the discrete time Fourier transform. Next property is the time reversal property. So time reversal, you know, time is nothing but x of n, reverse is nothing but x of minus n. So x of minus n, discrete time Fourier transform will get as a x of minus j omega. X of e power, normally will get as the x of j omega. Instead of here the time domain minus n is there means even in the frequency domain also e power minus j omega. This is nothing but a time reversal property. X of minus n, discrete time Fourier transform is x of e power minus j omega. Next one is conjugate symmetry. So conjugate symmetry is nothing but a, now we can consider as a x of n is a real signal. So x of e power j omega we can write it as a x star of, so minus j omega we can write, normally the Fourier transform, discrete time Fourier transform we are indicating as a capital X of e power j omega. That instead of e power minus j omega we can write it as a x star of e power j omega. So now modulus of the magnitude of x of e power j omega and real of x of e power j omega are both are even functions. So now if both x of n is a real function, so these both are even. X of n is a even function. Here you can see, here x of n, here the input signal x of n is a real signal. The magnitude, that modulus of x of the Fourier x of e power j omega n and real part of x of e power j omega n are even functions. If the angle of x of e power j omega and imaginary part of that one is odd signal. If x of n is a real and even, x of e power j omega also real and even. If x of n is a real and odd and x of e power j omega, we can say it is a purely imaginary and it is a odd function. That already we know. This is nothing but a, these all the notes we can, these all the properties it will comes under the conjugate symmetric property. Next one is differentiation in a frequency. So next one is differentiation property. Differentiation is nothing but n into x of n. So n into x of n, if n is nothing but a time domain, n into x of n, that the Fourier transform is j into d by d w, d by d omega, or w into x of e power j omega, x of e power j omega. This is nothing but a differentiation property. Now next one is nothing but a Parseval's relation. So Parseval's relation already it is known. Parseval's relation is nothing, it is like energy signal. So energy of summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, mod of x of n whole square, mod of x of n whole square is equal to time domain whole square is equal to frequency domain 1 by 2 pi integration minus integration 2 pi modulus of x of e power j omega whole square into t2. This is nothing but a Parseval's relation. Now last one is nothing but a convolution. So if you see the convolution, so y of n is nothing but a convolution of the two signals x of n and h of n. So convolution of the two signals is multiplication of their frequency domain. That is nothing but a convolution of their discrete time Fourier transform. So the convolution of this discrete time Fourier transform of x of n is h of e power j omega. So Fourier transform of x of n is h of e power j omega. Discrete time Fourier transform h of n is x of e power j omega. Discrete time Fourier transform of x of n is x of e power j omega. So convolution of two signals x of n time domain signal Fourier transform is multiplication of their Fourier transform, discrete time Fourier transform. This is the convolution property. Now next one is time scaling. So if you see the time scaling property, so x of n is nothing but x k of n is equal to x of n by k. So if k is if n is a multiples of k, so this is our x of n. So x3 of n is nothing but it is multiplied with, wherever see minus 2 it is multiplied with minus 3 0, and this one multiples of that multiples of that k. So this is nothing but a time scaling property. So here x of e power j omega, if you want to write the scaling property in a Fourier discrete time Fourier transform, that we are writing as x3 of e power j omega, that we can write it as e power j into 3 omega, e power j into 3 omega. That is we can write it as this is nothing but x of e power j omega. This is x of e power j into 3 omega. It is multiples of the frequency. Here multiples of the time, here multiples of the frequency. Now x of n is equal to, now next one convolution for a sine wave. So x of n is equal to e power j into omega naught n. Here Fourier transform is nothing but x of e power j omega is equal to 2 pi into summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity delta of omega minus omega naught minus 2 pi k. Here the Fourier transform of input signal y of n is y of e power j omega is equal to here impulse function h of e power j omega into x of n. X of n is nothing but this one 2 pi into summation and k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity delta of omega minus omega naught minus 2 pi k. So here we can take 2 pi out and here we can substitute here h of e power j omega is nothing but a summation k is equal minus infinity plus infinity h of e power j into omega naught plus 2 pi, because it is a periodicity property. Based on the periodicity we are applying. So we know if it is the h of omega is the periodicity, it satisfying the periodicity is nothing but here this whole thing we can write it as the h of e power j omega naught. So this is 2 pi into this 2 pi into integral summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity delta of omega minus omega naught minus 2 pi k. So if you summation of this one h of e power j omega, this is whole thing also e power j into omega naught into n. Like this we can do. These are the some of the important properties of the discrete time Fourier transform. So by using this discrete time Fourier transform, we can easily find the Fourier transform of any signal with very simple method. So some problems and all, it will take more steps to find the discrete time Fourier transform of some signals. If you apply these properties, we can find easily discrete time Fourier transform of any signals. So in the next coming video, we'll see how to apply that properties to find the discrete time Fourier transform. Thank you all.